Hello, I am Manimalarvanan. In this video, we will look into how algorithms can be used in managing organization, specifically decentralized organization or DAOs. In the last couple of weeks, we have been going through agents and crypto, how agents and crypto can be integrated, how those two can work together to create lot of benefits for both customers, software developers, and vendors. In this particular video, we will see how AI can help to manage the decentralized organization that is being there for the last 3, 4 years since crypto started. And now we can see how AI can be integrated into DAOs. So why DOs are reaching for algorithms now? The main question is what is the need for using AI-based algorithms or agents managing decentralized organizations? The main issue with the decentralized organization, yes, it is all managed by global community all over the world. They can able to vote, they can able to receive the proposal all through the internet and everything is managed, but still it is managed by the human beings because we human have really time limited issues that we need to take care because if we have more and more issues coming from one particular decentralized organization that you are member of, the first couple of weeks, couple of months, you will be interested reaching and reading out the proposal, understanding it, and then interestingly voting for that proposal. But after some times there is a fatigue kicks in and you may not even see the proposal, you may not even understand it, you may not even read it. In that situation, what happens? Then the management team, those who are owning more tokens, they have to make a decision. So they will vote for it. That proposal, you may or may not like it, but ultimately it is decided by the whales, those who have large number of voting rights for that particular decentralized organization. That can be avoided if we can able to create a policy agent which can able to manage it on your behalf and it can able to make the decision on your behalf. And then the other second issue is the operational drag. Routine treasury tasks pile up on a regular basis for everyone to see and understand. For example, if you want to rebalance your managing pool, asset pool within your decentralized application, it is a task that needs to be done 24/7, but sometimes you need to make a larger decision. And if there is a proposal comes in, you may be reading it, understanding it to vote for the favor of it or vote against for the proposal. But you have to read and understand the 40-page document. All those are time critical and you may not even go through that and you don't even have the time to go through it. So ultimately, the management team needs to vote for that. And then adversarial environments. The crypto blockchain networks environment changes 24/7. It's not like a stock market, which ends from morning 9 to evening 4, but it operates 24/7. So all the time, the attackers are trying to exploit the people, those who have your tokens are actively trading all over the world. So if you have a bigger blockchain network, then the activity happens 24/7. So you cannot manage it, you cannot understand it, what is going on. Even if you are have a separate team to do that, it is very difficult for the team to manage it. So in those situations, software agents, AI agents can able to make decision on your behalf. It's not that going to take full control of the DAO, but it is going to make and understand the policies that you define and it's going to use it. And then the better rails. Any decisions the agent is going to make, it needs to have a clear KPIs to use it and also log every decision, every action it takes so that you can go back later on and identify why the agent made the decision and what is the consequence of the decision. So you can able to fine tune your agent based on your goals and interest. All those are possible using agents that can able to manage tasks on your behalf in a decentralized organization. So what AI managed actually means, when you say that AI is going to manage, it is not going to completely eliminate humans and it's going to manage the entire decentralized organization on your behalf. That's not the case. All it is having to do is that to have a policy agent. That policy agent will understand your intent, your goal, and then it's going to act based on what the policy set by the human beings. So it's not going to make independent decision on your behalf and it's going to act. That's not the case. So it is going to go through the policies defined by the human beings and it is going to read and understand and it is going to execute those on your behalf. And if you want to change it, you can able to change it again based on the number of votes that is needed for the policy change. It's a simple pattern if you want to go through that. It's basically you give inputs like on-chain metrics and treasury balance and the risk dashboards and milestone attestation, all the KPIs, you give it to the policy and then the policy language, what it needs to do. It can be simple, maintain a equal amount of 50% Ethereum and 50% Solana tokens in your decentralized application. It could be as simple as that. So in that case, anytime the total number of token changes, it is going to go and execute the order to balance your treasury. That's all it's going to do. And without that, you need to monitor. Human beings needs to monitor it and they need to execute the transaction and they need to wait the completion of transaction and then they can say that yes, they can able to now the treasury ratio for whatever the policy they set is managed. With the agents, it can able to do on your behalf and you can able to go and do other things that is more suitable for your decentralized application. So the policy has to be plain language, and then the agents can use the inputs and the policy language, and it is going to do the very specific jobs. It's not going to make the decision without your knowledge, and it's going to take the full control of your decentralized organization. That's not going to happen. It is based on the policy you set and how it needs to work on it. And then you always have the control. You have the veto power. Say, for example, any major decision, it is going to, if there is a policy as a major decision, and if the software agents needs to make, you can set a trigger and saying that if we are going to make this type of major decision, say if we want to sell all the Ethereum tokens or if we want to stop the complete transaction for 1 hour, something like that, then it will needs to get have a human input in the loop so that it can tell and only if you give the permission, it is going to execute that particular policy. So you can able to define and control the agents for your interest so that you can be relieved of doing day-to-day job and concentrate on more higher value tasks. So five governance jobs the software does better. These are all some of the sample and as the software and AI industry matures, more and more tasks can be added to these agents. The ranking proposal by impact. If there is a proposal and if we have the policy set for each proposal and it can able to read the policy and understand the proposal and give a clear impact of the proposal that is going to do for the token holders for that decentralized organization. It can able to tell it based on the algorithmic rules. It is not going to use the human emotion. It is not going to have other issues that the humans have. It is all going to go through the rules that are set by human beings and it is going to give a clear ranking for the proposal. Then keeping the treasury healthy. The treasury agents maintain the safety buffers, diversity venues, and schedule routine payouts with the strict caps so that it can able to maintain the healthy balance of your treasury tokens within your decentralized application. And it can manage 24/7. As I said earlier, you don't have to do it. And based on the policy you set, the treasury agent able to do it. And then the distribution of public goods and rewards. If you have a proposal that people, those who are managing and identifying bugs, managing software, they need to be paid. And if we have a proper policy and proper system, the payout can happen on the regular intervals without any delays and any issues, so that human beings don't have to manage those type of activities. The scoring agents can able to score based on the public input that was given for a particular software task for a particular user, and then it can able to allocate the tokens and distribute the rewards for that particular user. All those are can be managed by the software agents. And then the watching the parameters precisely, there are various parameters that needs to be managed by human beings to manage the DAO. You have to see the on-chain activity, off-chain activity, total number of transaction, how the competing agents are doing in their blockchain, and what you need to do. It's a lot of work needed. So in those cases, if we have a clear policy, if we have the clear KPI set, then the agents can able to manage those, measure those, and adapt those policies on your behalf. For example, if you say that do not do any transaction, if the transaction fee is more than $1,000 or more than $500, if you set that parameter that $500 or $1,000, then the agent can able to monitor, and whenever the transaction fee is going to impact, it is not going to do the transaction. So it is going to wait until certain amount of time based on the policy, and then it is going to execute the transaction. And then cleaning up the governing process. Agents can check the proposal based on the templates, and then it can link to the code and run simulations. It can actively generate what type of outcome it is going to do by simulating the policies on your behalf. And it is going to give output for you to see how the policy is going to work. Even if we have certain drastic situations where the agents needs to go and execute those policies, you can simulate it and then see how well the agents are doing executing their policy on your behalf. So these are all the design patterns that make the AI governance safe. The written constitution. So define objectives and red lines in plain English language that can be implemented in software code. So example, maintain 18 months of stable coin runaway. If we have this type of rules, then it is easy for the agent developers to develop the agent so that they can able to use it to execute the agent's behavior in their software code. And then the staged autonomy. Start with the proposal only. You don't want to give complex tasks for the agents. Start with simple proposal and gradually execute it under the cap of a low risk proposals tasks, so that the agents can understand your intention and you can understand how the agent is going to work for you, and then you can make more complex tasks. You can assign more complex tasks for the agents. All those are programmable by the software developers on your behalf based on the policies you create. And also you can have the emergency stops for agents autonomy. You can completely avoid the autonomy for the next 30 days. Do not do any auto execution. Say something like that. You can give that type of autonomy to stop agents to execute any transactions on your behalf. Then the separation of powers. The policy agents, human voters, and independent dispute resolvers all needs to be distinct. Agents are going to go through the policy proposal and execute it on your behalf. It is not going to interact with other human beings. It can interact based on your policy, but it is just going to follow the rules. It doesn't have any other internal intention of making the treasury higher value, lower value, whatever it is. It is all based on the rules that are created by the human beings, and it is going to execute. So if you keep the agents and then the human voters, those who are going to vote for a proposal, and the dispute resolver, sometimes there is a dispute comes in and there is a team of dispute resolvers trying to step in and fix the issue. So those three groups separate, then the agent can do its job, human voters can do their job, and the independent disputers can able to act independently without any issues. And then the veto and rollback. Any high impact action should have a human veto so that the agent can completely stop doing the task, and then it can roll back. Even if it starts, it's not going to start. Even if you say that, okay, go ahead and do this particular task, and in the middle of the task, if you want to roll back, you can able to stop and roll back. So you can able to create the agents to support these features, and then receipts everywhere. Any automated task that the agents are going to do, it needs to log those with all the informations, what it has and why it made the decision, so that you can able to go back and understand the policy set and policy that triggered and what exactly the agent did in that activity, and you can able to identify. That's going to help you to identify, fix any issues that you need to change in the future actions for the agents. So, engine steering wheel for a practical approach, what we can do in our agent setup in the managing the decentralized organizations. Humans define the mission, budgets, ethics, and then the authority boundaries. And the agents handle the routine execution tasks and then the risk alerts. Say, for example, if you are a risk alert agent, it can go and identify, it's not going to do anything on your behalf. It is just going to identify the risk for you. It goes and identifies if it needs to go to a different blockchain and understand the total number of transaction, the transaction cost, all those values it can able to provide you, so that you can make a decision. So you can have agents to do that. And then there needs to be the dispute and edge cases. There are a lot of times there is no proper metrics for agents to make a decision. In those situations, if agents makes the decision and if you don't like it, then if there is a log available for that agent's activity, you can able to make the change so that it can completely avoid the edge cases on your behalf. You can have a policy, if the transaction fee is equal to $100 or less than $100, then execute a transaction. If that is the case, then you can have, yeah, if there is a log, you can able to identify if the value of the transaction cost is less than $100 or equal to $100. And then based on that, you can able to adjust the policy, and you can able to review the policy and make changes if there is any changes, so that the next time agents can do appropriate actions based on your interest and goals. And then the voters review the results and cadence, revised rules, and all those changes can be logged, so that agents can understand and human beings can also understand what are all the changes that happened. And this gives a practical operating model for both agents and the human beings managing the decentralized application, so that both agents can understand what it needs to do, and ultimately it frees up human beings from the repetitive tasks of managing decentralized application for other people. So here is the 30 to 60 to 90-day rollout plan organizations can go through. In the first to 30-day, you map and measure basically. You list recurring decisions that the decentralized organizations are making on a regular basis. And if those decisions are high value decisions or low value decision, and based on that how much voter time is required for that, you identify 5 to 7 guardrail metrics, and then make sure that among that how many of them you want to automate, and you can able to automate. And then draft a one-page constitution for each of the domain with the exact thresholds and all the parameters for that agents to go through and understand what it needs to do. So that is the first month. And then in the second month, we deploy the proposal, only the agents for maybe 2 domains, one for identifying opportunities for you to start the transaction. That could be one agent. Another agent is identifying the transaction fee for you. So it, implement those 2 agents in a low risk phase, so that it can go and do its job, and you can able to read and understand what was the task it is doing on a regular basis, to understand whatever the policy proposal you set for those agents, and if it is doing its job or if it needs to do any fine adjustments in the proposal so that the agents can be fine-tuned based on the action that performed. So that is going to be the second month of the your rollout journey. And then you always have a 72-hour community review window for all the major actions within that period to understand how the agent works so that you can able to fine tune it. And then the next third month, you execute under very strict guidelines. So gradually perform the best performing agents to execute under the cap of low risk tasks. It's basically you identify the low risk tasks and then it is going to go and execute and then you watch it, see how well it is executing. And then based on that, you can make future decisions, what you need to do with those agents. And the agents will always produce reports on a daily basis. You don't have to go and read those reports for you. You can have another bot or a separate AI agents going through and summarizing everyday report, weekly report, and then monthly report, and go through it and identify what needs to be changed or what needs to remain as it is because the agent understood the intent and changes you don't need to change anything that is agent is executing properly. And whatever changes you need to do, you change the policy, you go through the cycle, and then ultimately keep adding value to the agent so that the agents can take more and more responsibilities from you, and it can understand your intent and it can able to work on your behalf to manage your decentralized organization. So in this scenario, what would be the success looks like? It's a routine spending time that fewer voters are getting involved in a day-to-day organization decision. So let the agent will be managing low value transactions, a low value management task on your behalf. So the agents can do a better job. So human beings can go and do other meaningful jobs. And then the grants show higher impact per token. So ultimately, you need to come up with a strategy so that each token value is increasing on a regular basis so that you can attract more customers, more users coming into your organization blockchain so that they can able to add value and ultimately your decentralized application value goes up. And then the faster treasury as the stable runway, you maintain the stable treasury so that you can able to understand and have a clean vendor exposure for your treasury needs and maintain the treasury independent of other activities that are happening. And then the faster incident response. Anytime any issue comes in between the decentralized organization and then the voting community or any other activities, you can able to pay attention to that immediately rather than waiting because the agents are doing other jobs and you can able to concentrate on high critical tasks that you need to do to successfully manage your decentralized organization. And members will vote only for what that matters because since you automated day-to-day low impact resolutions, member will vote physically for any major changes in the organization or any agent policy changes that needs a lot of attention. You need votes from all the members. Then only you can able to have the members attention so that other members, those who have few tokens, can go and do other things rather than going and making sure that the organization has been properly managed. They don't need to be in the day-to-day involvement of low impact tasks, so they can go and do other tasks. So that's all I want to discuss in this video. And there are a lot of concepts we introduced. And if you need to know more about what is a decentralized organization, how it can be created, I have other videos in this channel. Please go and read. And if you need any questions, if you have any questions or comments, please post it or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you. And if you like this video, please share and subscribe to your friends and family. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Bye.